7, solving equations. Draw your line down. Today, remember, you must show all of your steps. I know you might know the answers, but remember, we have to be able to show the answers. So we're going to start with one-step equations. All right, so let's take a look at the first problem. X plus 15 equals negative 6. So you've done this before. It's just a review. Let's draw our line down. We find a variable, that's u, and now we are adding 15. So we need to subtract 15 to both sides. So the difference now is we're just going to be using those negative rules that we learned. A negative 6 and a negative 15, signs are the same, so we add and we get a negative 21. Remember, you can always substitute back in negative 21 plus 15. So signs are different, so you subtract, you'd be left with a negative 6. All right, let's try the next one. Negative 14 equals x minus 12. You go ahead and do it. Remember to stop the video at any time. Let's take a look. So here's the variable. I'm subtracting 12, so I need to add 12 to both sides. Cancel, cancel. X equals, and then negative 14 plus 12, signs are different, so I subtract and get a negative 2. Oops, got it. All right, now things might change a little bit. Go ahead and try this one. Come on, hold the pen. I can't. There we go. All right. So x, yes, I'm adding a negative 31. So the opposite would be subtracting a positive 31. But we don't want to do that because we'd be subtracting 2. So basically, ignore this. Remember, these are the unnecessary things that you don't need. This really just says x minus 31. So sometimes it's easier to get rid of all those unnecessary things. So we are adding 31 to both sides. X equals 47. Pens don't want us to work. All right, here you go. You go try this one. All right, let's draw our line down. Here's x, here's 18. What's in front of this 18 is a positive, so I need to subtract 18 from both sides. Cancel, cancel. X equals, signs are the same, a negative 21. All right, let's remember how to do multiplying and dividing. All right, I'm going to put them both up. Go ahead and try them both. All right, remember we don't use the division sign. We are multiplying by 3, so do we divide both sides by 3? Cancel, cancel. Y equals, we have a negative divided by a positive, so it's negative, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. Again, you can check it. 3 times a negative is 6. Well, 3 times 6 is 18. Positive times a negative is a negative. All right, in this case now, we need to get rid of that negative 2, so you have to divide by a negative 5. So divide by a negative 5. These would cancel. And my answer, remember, we can be left with fractions, so it's a negative 2/5. Now, in today's assignment, all your answers will be whole numbers, but I just wanted you to remember that. Now, the negative can go with the 2, the 5. You can put a negative on the top, where I did, on the bottom with the negative 5, or a lot of times you'll see it right smack in the middle. These all mean the same thing. All right, let's look at one more on a one step, which is the division. So when you divide, the opposite would be multiplication. So remember how to show multiplications with a dot on the side, and we're multiplying, we got to get rid of that negative, so multiplying by negative 2. These cancel. M equals 15 times 2 is 30. Positive times a negative is a negative 30. All right, let's go on to two steps. two-step equations. So remember the party idea now. You always get rid of your acquaintances first, then your best friends. So if this is you, your besties are attached, the rest is the acquaintance. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. These cancel, bring down the whole 2x equals, well, negative and a positive is a -2. Now we divide by 2, divide by 2. X would equal, well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. A negative divided by positive is a negative. Answer's -1. Let's check this one just so we remember how to check. 2 times a -1 minus 1 equals -3. 2 times, because this has to come first, is a -2 minus 1 is a -3 equals a -3. It checks out. All right, so let's try one last one. Two-step equation. Come back when you're ready. All right, so me, besties, acquaintances, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. These cancel. I'm left with x over 3 equals 12. This one doesn't even have any negatives in it. Times 3, cancel, cancel. X equals 36. So 36 divided by 3 minus 4 equals 8. Remember, you can do this mentally. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8, so 8 equals 8. It checks out. You always want to check your answers because you know you can have them all correct. So your assignment is to solve, don't forget to finish the IXL you had at the beginning, solve the equations 9.7, then put into TeacherMate. There's an integer breakout in the challenge folder or the daily 10.